Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for once again tuning in to the Boxing Rush Hour Show. I am one of your hosts, Abe G, and I am joined by, as always, professional fighter Zachary Ochoa. What's the deal, Zach? How you feeling today?
I don't know, man. I got some mixed feelings about a lot of stuff going on, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not liking it. I don't know, man. It's some wild shit going on.
yeah. There's a
How you
lot
feeling,
of
bro?
different things going on right now, and
Besides the boxing world, it's nice and sunny outside, so I'm happy about that. How you feeling, Abe?
hey, it's always good when it's nice and sunny. I just been, grinding away, and we got fights this weekend too. Believe it or not, we got some heavyweight fights. Headlined by our guy Jarrell Miller from Brooklyn. He's gonna be headlining against Paro Aparo. I don't know how you say his first name, but yeah, that's a fight that's coming up. And I think that listen, he's got a situation where if he looks good, shit, he might get that AJ fight, man. Matchroom was promoting this card. Um, Today they were doing a uh it was called Locks of Luck. No, Locks of Love. I'm sorry, Locks of Love, where they were doing Jarrell Miller and Matchroom. They were at Bob Santos' gym, and if you cut like 10 inches of hair, it would go towards kids that lose hair prematurely. And so the whole thing is behind,
Alopecia.
um, yeah, and Big Baby Miller, being the guy, with the toupee stuff, and it was a dope look that he was able to do that. And joining us today, is the one, the only, Mr. Grade A himself, Michael Woods.
The one,
Michael,
the only, the rarely lonely, but lonely right now. No, I'm just kidding. No, no, bro. I just wanted to watch on the sidelines, and I was gonna let you guys. I want to chop it up. I want to hear what you say first, but there was no live. Just you. I think you saw me say, "Oh, Woodsy's a shithead. He doesn't realize what the top of the hour is." I'll just tag him in the big dummy. How you doing, Woods?
What's good, man? What's the deal with you?
How are you? Hey Zach, how you doing?
how you feeling, Michael?
It's been a
What's
little
going on?
while. I wanted to let you
I know,
guys exert your lungs and flap a little bit before
no, no,
I
no,
did
no.
mine.
It's not all that. You was just being all bougie, with the,
Yeah.
you went viral with the turkey tweet and everything.
Oh, I was
He
just on
forgot about
Turkey's
the little.
account.
He
He
forgot about the
posted a
little
picture of
people.
himself with music. It looks majestic. I think him and I are destined to be. To be what I don't know.
To be
Just
what
to
I don't
be,
know.
baby.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
man, I tell you,
and then I heard you say big
big
baby Miller.
baby.
And I just started cracking up to myself. Not in a bad way, in a good way. God bless Big Baby Miller is the picture of indefatigability, of not stopping. He's a caricature. He's a joke outside looking in. He's 330 pounds. He's a blimp. No, he's a fucking survivor, man. He's a fucking survivor. He's getting paid again, and he's gonna keep on coming back. And I think there's a reason they probably booked this, and I think there's maybe a reason he's the favorite. But I didn't want to get into your rundown. What stories? I didn't want to. You know, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, listen, let's get into the. I was gonna wait a hot time, but let's talk about Miller, as since we're talking about him now. And today they had that event at Bob Santos' gym. Donating the hair and stuff. Good cause, good stuff that he's doing. That taking the moment. He ran with it as much as he could possibly run
Yeah,
with, but now
in a
Matchroom is
good.
sticking
He
in
ran
another.
within
Yeah.
a good positive direction. I'll tell you a little tidbit here, and why he has some abilities here. I know this because of personal. He has a really good publicist. Her name is Alvina. She's been around a long, long time. She's sharp as. Now let me tell young G's, they cost a little bit of money. But there's a reason that Big Baby Miller is, as I described, indefatigable. If I hope that's the right word. But there's also a reason because smart media play there, and God bless it. It's hard to be. It's hard to think soft sometimes when you're in this boxing biz where we are. We're cynical, right? Oh, here's another schmuck talker. Our guard is up. Think about the testimony in front of the Senate today,
Yeah.
right? Our guard is always up there. So anytime there's something nice and truly real, and as much as it can be in any big business, Big Baby Miller is not mocking other people. He's slightly mocking himself for being bald. I like that shtick. I go to that shtick myself. So he's about a 62. He's about a 62% favored to win the fight against Pero. Real quick, down, dirty, low, quick. There are two Peros. There's older brother Pero and there's younger brother Pero. Younger brother Pero is the one that Turkey signed to like the Turkey a la carte extra deal. The older one, the one that Big Baby's fighting, is 33 and not as much. He maybe has not been, as fresh training, whatever rumor is. Um, so it might be right place, right time for Big Baby. It does feel like it's situated like that. Does it to you, or it's kind of low and key intriguing one for me? I'm like, wait a second, okay, this one's sliding under the radar a little bit. Who's getting the win here? Who's getting the W? Because those Cuban young fellas, the Peros, they're connected.
Yeah.
And don't anyone be thinking that connections don't have some bearing in some things and some certain, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be your judges, whether it be whatever. So I don't usually aim myself at a betting audience because I'm not a bettor, but I do find myself thinking in terms of percentages, likelihood to win. So it does suggest itself. I would suggest to anyone looking at betting that fight, really, really consider more than you know. Don't think you know everything. Don't think you know this one's slated for a win, whatever. Bros, we don't know. Out here on these other people know X% more than we do, and there's probably a good reason for Big Baby Miller to be getting this fight and to be favored right now because Fortune, after he lost his hair and came out of it looking like that, come on, he made it onto the late night. Didn't he make it on Jimmy Kimmel? Abe?
Yes. Not
Off of
yet.
this
Jimmy
hair
Kimmel
loss.
in
Come
Los
on
Angeles.
now,
Yeah.
Alvina Alston, deserves another spiff from Big Baby. That's a good publicist work. So, all in all, I'm thinking it's probably priced about right, but I'd not be leaning against Big Baby Miller, who, by the way, when you're thinking about a Big Baby Miller fight, you want to assess with your eyes as well. And what do your eyes tell you as far as did he pound up? Was he pounding Sonic burgers and whatever else in between? Or no, he looked pretty good, But I mean, looking pretty good. Listen, I'm Dana White age. What looks good to me is, different than some other people, but he holds that weight well. He's gonna make Pero work and decide, is this boxing for me? Or, I came from Cuba. I already worked really hard. That's one thing that people forget. They already worked really, really hard. And for like half or three quarters of their lives, do they want to keep doing it? It pops up. People do keep wanting doing it, don't they? I almost wore my BKB hat today, and I'm thinking in terms of Gamboa and names that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a second now. There's a name that I know. One Zachary Ochoa. What are you walking at around these days, champ?
Probably like 160.
Okay. What do you think? You got an open mind on that? How's your
On
skin
bare
there?
knuckle.
Yeah, about the bare knuckle.
I'll kill somebody. That's the
You
thing,
what?
man. I will literally kill somebody. If I hit somebody in bare knuckle, I'm gonna kill them.
That puts me down as a yes, I'm interested. I will talk to you. Let's talk after this event here. We don't want to muddy up Abe's mix too much there a little bit, but I don't know, bros. There's people signing all over the place, and I ain't taking no thin dime. Okay, I'm not on the compense list for BKB. I consider them friends, and people that I like to and would work with. You know what I'm saying? But not Not in any cash basis here.
Yeah, for sure. And listen, yeah, you are Dana White's age. You just don't wear his same wardrobe. You know, you stay away from the medium shirts. But anyway, listen.
Yeah, man, I'm smart enough to know what to wear and not. So some people are gonna be like, "What's that? Man boobs? Why you got man boobs?" You don't have to know about my boobs, anything. I wear it. You know, I know where, bro. I know what lane I'm at, and I know what lane I'm not at. I'll tell you, White. I'll tell you what. With White, he is a little bit lost himself. Want to get a little bit metaphysical here? Want to switch it up a little bit? Maybe not. We don't have to too quick, but if your marketing to people leads you to be in basement rec rooms with 26 and 31-year-old influencers, it feels off to some people. And whatever, he can say it. Dana has a long history of being like, fuck you, shut up. I'm a bully. Fuck you. I do what I want. That's going to continue to be the way. However, optics are huge. Even, you know what I'm saying? And I mention optics now because when you're 56, it's not the same when you're 26, 36, or even 46. If you're not on that good diet and whatever chemicals the best chemists in the world are coming up with to make you look at so you shredded and sharp as everything. Listen, is there a reason that Trump probably goes away for the first 3-4 days of every month and then comes back refreshed and ready to rock and roll?
On that note, listen, Miller, you're right. This feels like he's being lined up for the Joshua fight. But also remember that Vegas is like a second little Havana as well. A lot of Cubans in Vegas. So it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out. Shout out to Barack Best on IG. Yeah,
How are you guys playing it? Let me throw it to you. Let me throw it to Zach. Throw it to Abe. How are you playing that? How are you seeing that fight? Big Baby Miller and older Perro, who is 33 years old, who is a lefty, but it ain't nothing, no tricks that an old Big Baby hasn't seen, I don't think.
Yeah, Zach, go ahead.
Well, basically, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Jarrell, man. He's really done his thing. And first of all, he of course he has a great publicist, Alvina. How they met was, with through my stable and everything, which was crazy. It was, and I look at them, they still all together, still doing their thing and everything, which is awesome. And it's like Jarrell's been through so much, from popping for PEDs and doing the kickboxing, being on the feet as a pro, then getting his first loss, coming back, split decision, everything. He's been through a lot. But guess what? The thing is that everybody could say, "Oh, he was a cheater." They say, "Okay, cool," but guess what? He now has been consistently fighting, obviously clean, because they're going to be testing him all the time. Fighting. Whether he wins, loses, it doesn't matter. He's still fighting, and he's still doing his thing. He's grinding hard for what he wants, and you got to give him his respect, bro. You feel me? I've seen him in the gym. He's a hard worker, all that stuff, when he's really focused. And I think he just really knows like his MO now, as in grind, put the head down, grind, take any fight, do your best, Andy Ruiz type shit, all that. Then Dubois. I think Jarrell's going to be.
Don't fumble the bag. Don't fumble the bag.
Oh no, he knows not to fumble the bag.
Yeah.
He knows.
Come on now, home stretch here.
15 million. Listen, man. All right, but look, this guy Perro, I don't think he's going to beat Jarrell. I think Jarrell's going to be a little bit too much for him. Perro does have skills. He's come from Cuba, all that stuff, but he just does not have the experience that Jarrell has. I see Jarrell really overwhelming him, being very calm, using his experience, his poise, and then most likely stopping this guy. It might be a good fight, but Jarrell can most likely stop this guy. This guy's never been, nowhere near this experience of an opponent. Jarrell's been in with most guys now. You understand? So I got him slightly edging this fight, but then taking over, and then of course he can get a bigger fight now. I don't know if he'll ever get the Joshua fight, because the way Joshua is, I will never let a guy who cheated against me get the opportunity again. The way Joshua is, but anything can happen. But after a fight like this, he beats an undefeated Cuban fighter. That can sky's the limit for him. You know, he get a title eliminator. He could fight a bunch of guys. He can maybe get a Dubois rematch. There's so much, and the thing is, he's 37 years old. The heavyweight division is great. Age is like, why? I love it. I like the fight for him a lot. Big
But
time.
this is the important thing right here. He's fighting under the Matchroom banner for this one. Eddie Hearn needs to find an opponent for Joshua for July. He works with Frank Warren when he has to, but if he doesn't have to, he won't. And if Miller could come out with a win and look decent enough and slow enough, he's going to take that fight. He's not going to take the Wilder fight. He already said that that's probably not the fight that he wants to do in July. You want all roads to get to Fury. Like, they're probably going to go with the Miller fight because they know that he ain't going to move too much. He's going to be stationary for the most part.
Wilder's easier than Miller.
It would make
yes,
sense. It would
but
make sense.
I think in the back of Joshua's mind, he'll have that thought that, oh man,
the thing is,
I can get knocked the fuck out. You know what I mean? And so I don't know if he would have that same thought in the back of his mind against Miller, though. You know what I mean? Like that's two different fighters, though. I don't think that he'll have that thought. And so I think stylistically you have to favor Miller getting that fight. And if he wins on Saturday, I think he gets that fight.
Yeah, if I'm Joshua, if I'm Joshua, like if I'm fighting Deontay Wilder, I already know he's putting this in his head because you're right. Abe goes into the politics and the tournament brackets of boxing, which Abe he's great at doing. He goes, oh, what if this guy wins this? Politically, it's a talent, it's a skill when it comes to Abe. How the way he doesn't just matchmake just by who could fight who, he matchmakes by promotion companies and TV and all that, which is fucking awesome. Shout out to the Spit Bucket. But yo, tell me how if he's fighting Deontay Wilder, he knows the whole time, okay, I'm winning. But damn, he might just fucking done. So he might just hit me with some shit. I'm out. With Jarrell, though, I feel I can beat Jarrell. He got the skill and everything, but Jarrell's the type, he might change the whole dynamic of the fight and start actually coming on and going and start bringing it and not giving up. Like you see Deontay Wilder, his stamina, all that. Jarrell, he'll get tired, but Jarrell, he'll fight with heart. You know what I'm saying? Not saying Deontay Wilder doesn't have heart. He just doesn't have them legs like he used to have. And Jarrell, he's the type that he will make the fight real fucking rough. And you thought it was going to be easy night, but he might make it real rough. You understand? If you're not Daniel Dubois, you might be in a long night. But the way Abe matched that up, now it makes a lot of sense. Before I was thinking maybe, no, since he had the opportunity, I'm not giving him another chance. But, hey, I understand AJ is the landlord, and it's what he says and everything. But when something makes sense, you're like, yeah, whatever. He's been doing his thing. Let's make it happen.
And plus, Miller may still be on the hook with some money owed to Salida. So he might need that. He might need, to work all those things out and get to the Joshua fight. But listen, speaking of jackpots, Woodsy, your boy, Jackpot Jr., Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Your boy. Woodsy, that's your boy.
What happened with him?
Get sponsorship deals with Jackpot Jr., Woodsy. That's your boy, not my boy.
What's the news, bro?
He is fighting again on Saturday. He's been fighting like every other month.
It don't matter who. It's a jackpot,
it don't matter.
Yeah.
But the thing is that since he's been deported, the dude has been busy in and out of the ring, just getting fights, training camp, and I'm like, bro, like you should have been on this wave 5-10 years ago. Like, why are you doing that now? But I don't know. I just found that interesting that he's fighting again on Saturday night. Let me see.
Wow, he is. Wow, I love that.
Okay, so here's something interesting and up your alley, Woodsy.
Yeah, buddy.
Virgil Ortiz versus Golden Boy. The arbitration is set for July 14th. So as we spoke about before, all three of us in previous weeks, the can was definitely kicked down the road. So now the arbitration date is mid-July, which means that something's going to get settled by then. But then we might not see him in the ring until, October, November maybe? Like, I don't know.
Right.
Like, what are you thinking as far as whatever this is going? Because if he gets out of the Golden Boy deal, now he has to start shopping around for a new deal, and who knows how long that's going to take before that gets ironed out. And then market and promote the new signing, and then fight. And he's not going to fight nobody. I don't know if he's going to fight somebody coming off a year layoff. I don't know. Like, what do you think of all this? Seeing that you've seen this script before in different avenues, or with dealing with different people.
When you brought up um, the likelihood of Big Baby Miller getting another chance against Anthony Joshua, I was thinking to myself, oh man, Abe is bringing another direction. Or no, it was Zach that said, would he give him the opportunity after he effed him like that by cheating on him? And one of the reasons this is a good show, an underrated show, if I may say, is because coming at it from all the different possible directions. The reason I bring that up here is maybe Virgil is just like telling the attorneys, I want to fight. And I got some ground to give up. What we don't know is something that we would only find out if we were invited into the attorney's office over there to know what's going on. Now, on the other side is Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar has proven himself to be all about business in a good way. Mostly, I think, not taking things personal and effing up business. This is a great opportunity for Oscar to do this, to actually counterpunch and come back nice and be like, you know what, young buck, I was like you and I just wanted to fight. And I think maybe you got steered in some wrong direction, but come on back and set that date up. You say this date is for in July, set a gig up in August, right? Give a little ramp time to it. But if I'm Virgil, that's where I'd steer. Now, Virgil, I'm back to the guy who was Dana White's age and whatever, has seen this spin a few times. What is Virgil, 28, 29? Prime physical condition. You ain't never getting that back. Ask your friends, the Charlos. Ask your friends, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, about time you're never getting back. Ask your friends, our man fighting up, our man coming up from Philly, coming up.
Jaron Ennis.
Boo, yeah, Jaron Ennis. Ask him about not ever getting that 28, 27 time back.
Mikey Garcia, Andre Ward.
No, right. And so Ward is an interesting one. He's a guy who does mix business and personal. And he doesn't want to exactly let you know always that he lets sometimes the personal seep in. But you don't have to be too much of a slicky to pick up on certain characteristics and who he works with and who he doesn't, et cetera. So you can read in between those lines, anyone who wants to. But sometimes people, I'm not saying this is the situation here. Sometimes people are real petty, and petty can show itself up in different ways. I hope that for Virgil's sake, this isn't that situation here, and we move towards settlement, fighting again. Yo, we can hate each other, but we can make money together. Boxing proves that to you every day, as far as how business taking precedence over making money takes precedence over anything else. I was just thinking that as I was thinking about the UFC having their event at the White House, and how boxing hasn't been, we haven't gone down those roads, mixing the political and the sport. Whereas it's happening over there, it's interesting. That's a choice you make, isn't it? So we'll see how that works for them.
Now, Zach, I'm going to ask you, what does Virgil do on his first fight back? Do you see him saying, "Well, give me Fundura," or is he like, "Nah, I need a little bit of a soft touch first, maybe a fight with, I don't know, one of the Golden Boy guys, or or maybe he goes after somebody that's been inactive, like a Charles Conway or something, and say, hey, let me get that fight and go in that route," or does he say, "Nah, I'm going straight into a Fundura fight"?
I don't think Virgil Ortiz, his heart would go straight into a Fundura fight. So Virgil Ortiz's heart will go straight into a Fundura fight, but his mind and the people around him on his team but not let him do that. You got to understand something about Virgil Ortiz. A lot of people don't know. He's a very smart, good kid, and he has a lot of heart, and he does want to fight. I know he wants to fight, but you can't be dumb enough to just jump into a Fundora fight right now out of nowhere and not at least fight one time before that. Even Fundora wouldn't do that. You understand? So you got to know that he has to play strategic. A Charles Conwell is a very very smart opponent that would really be good for him. It would test a lot of his abilities. There's many other guys out there too, but I would see him going for what's his name, Kelly. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I would see him go for a Kelly first, then a Fundora. Fundora
Yeah.
is real risky. You understand? I mean, not just risky. He will end your career. Kelly, he has more holes and everything like that, but he can fight his ass off. Don't sleep.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
can
but
fight.
right now, the according to Eddie Hearn, that they're trying to negotiate Kelly versus Fundora, so and get two pieces of the titles
Yeah,
together. So
but that's a crazy fight. But going back to what you're saying, I don't see him jumping in with Tua under a fight. I see him taking somebody, like you said, a part of the Golden Boy stable, or somebody that he can knock the rust off with, and then right afterwards, I just hope it's not a rinse and repeat, bro. As in trying to get a big fight again, then falling out. Trying to get a big fight again, then falling out. You got to understand there's a cycle going on here with a lot of these guys, and it's been happening with Virgil Ortiz a lot, and his talent is phenomenal. He's a hard worker, and he's a good kid, and he deserves it. So I see him beating a guy next and then going for a bigger fight.
all right, and Woodsy, what do you think, the Rick Meridian and Oscar, like that situation? I know those boxing, he put it out there that Oscar been keeping his guys managed by Rick Busy. Still got Amari Jones headline May 22nd in San Jose. So you think that, I mean, he's taken a different stand, a different approach with Oscar and trying to make amends and stuff. Probably feels like he put his foot in his mouth. Maybe, I don't know. Like, what do you think about that?
I think what you just said there, and I think about doing the right thing or not doing the right thing, and how at different points in your life, that temptation to go either way can continue to be there. As you move through life, it's not necessarily that you get necessarily more wisdom and figure the shit as you go. No, you get opportunities at every juncture to make a mistake or to not. I feel like in the last 5 years or so, I don't know how long he's been with that girl, that lady, but Oscar's been making better decisions. And what would the better decision here be? It would be, let's move on. It's business. It got a little personal with, Meridian, and maybe you overstep your bounds there or whatever. But the terms of this, I think that the ball is in the court of De La Hoya and Golden Boy here. So he can afford to be whatever way he wants to be. He can be a son of a bitch about it and fucking try to, all right, Meridian, I'll work with this one and you, but fucking by the end of the year, fuck that. Or he could just be, or you can just know, like, you know what? Life might not be short, but it's not promised. It might be over for any of us crossing the street tomorrow. So act accordingly, and acting accordingly in that situation would mean I'm hoping for Oscar being reasonable,
Mhm.
not making any sort of personal animus about it. And let's get the fuck, no offense to lawyers, got some in my family, love them immensely, but let's leave the lawyers out of this. All right. And the best stuff happens in the ring, and the fight's actually getting made. And anything that's not taking us to that point is a distraction and is not welcomed, frankly.
And I tell you, to your point, I told Zach this, I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago on this podcast. I said, what should happen right now is a conversation between Oscar and Virgil,
Yep.
nobody else. Them
True,
two
true.
get in a room and talk it out and have a grown man conversation
Right.
without nobody chiming in, nothing. Them
Yep.
two, promoter to fighter, and give him that respect on both ends. The respect of, hey, you're a fighter. I'm gonna talk to you directly because I was a fighter. And then on the other
Right.
side, hey, you're my promoter. I'm giving you the respect of talking to you directly, and this is what's on my mind, and this is why I felt like it was on some foul shit or whatever the case may be, and let that because sometimes the hearsay gets all jumbled up, and then by the end of the day, um, you get a version that probably wasn't the original, and now all of a sudden you're in the situation that you're in. So I think that they'll get it worked out,
Right.
hopefully, but I think that they should talk
Hey.
themselves. Listen, speaking of like events
Hey.
and stuff, I was just down on this event on Saturday night
Yeah.
here in Oceanside, California, San Diego County. Johnny Manzor, Julius Juju Ballo, prospects. They got only a couple fights, but them dudes put 5,000 people in that arena. 5,000
It's
people.
not bad. It's not
Andre
bad.
Ward never did that his whole career.
Yo, stop it. Listen, but 5,000 people. Almost 5,000 people, and it was a card full of guys that didn't have like more than 10 fights as far as on the A side or whatever is concerned. There was even an upset, a crooked record guy, knocked out the favorite. He was like 6-6, and he knocked out the guy that was undefeated or whatever. But those things happen, and but it kind of was just like, okay, well, these guys did something. They bet on themselves, and they got this audience in here. They're cooking within their region, within the San Diego region. Got San Diego local news involved and everything. Granted, they come from a wealthy background, but the lesson here is sometimes instead of trying to be big everywhere, be big in your own area first, and then you grow out. And that's what they're doing.
Yep.
Juju got signed with Top Rank, so he's got to deal with Top Rank, but Johnny doesn't have a deal. So now he keeps doing these type of events. Now he can come to the promoter and say, you know what? I don't want to sign a regular deal. I want to sign, a co-venture or whatever the case may be. And now, he's in a better position right off gate. I know some other guys like Tito Mercado try to do that and stuff, but it just didn't work out because maybe their approach wasn't this, right? These guys are showing reports and numbers and stuff of what they're doing, and some of the other guys aren't. So and Tito Mercado just left Matchroom, so I think he's heading to Zuffa maybe. But that was a whole thing because I guess his father is like a promoter, and then they wanted to do shows and stuff like that. But long story short, these two kids are doing their thing, and they're putting their career in their own hands, and like to see it. All right, so another Brooklyn guy, Richardson Hitchins, decides to drop the IBF title. Now this is where like I was not surprised. He signs to Zuffa, and they don't have a 140-pound weight class. They only have 8 weight classes. So it's 135, 147. And on the press release, when I dissected it more, it talks about him, being a champion at 140 pounds, but doesn't ever say that he's going to be competing in that division. Versus what they said about Edgar Berlanga on the same press release that said he's still looking to be like the best super middleweight person or whatever. Two different things, play with words and stuff like that. I just never felt like he was going to stick around. And with the recent history with the IBF and Zuffa, it just didn't seem like that was going to be the case. Now he drops his belt. He's moving up to 147. Really has no leverage other than that he's on Zuffa and they're going to match with people that want to stay busy. And I don't know, like where does he go? Can he beat a guy like Hammer Hands that is coming off of a good victory? Like, I don't know. So, Zach, real quick, what are your thoughts on Hitchins dropping the belt, and like what does his future look like at welterweight?
Honestly, he could have been struggling with the weight 140. He's been 140 for a very long time. But at the same time, when I seen Africa, he's not like a big guy. Like Africa, he doesn't walk around heavy. Like he does not walk around like one of these fat fucking guys that walks around 160 something or 180. He doesn't walk around too much. But if it's also killing him to make the weight, we don't know. We're not in the gym with him. We can't judge him on that. But I highly doubt from himself that he wanted to drop that title. He worked so hard for it. It was his only leverage. I mean, why the fuck would you fight a guy like Africa at all unless there's big money or a title on the line? Because he is a very skilled and good fighter. Can he beat Hammer Hands?
Yes.
That's not even a question. That's
not even a question.
That's not a question. He could beat Hammer Hands with just a jab. But
correct.
I've been in the ring with both of these guys. But I'm gonna tell you something. I think Africa moving up to 147 from 140 to 147. I think they should get him a fight immediately at 147, and then put him in there with somebody really good. It needs to be soon. You can't have him wait around everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have as much leverage as he did have with the belt? No, he does not. The only leverage he's having is that his team is making sure he's getting paid well. He's going to get paid good. It's guaranteed money. It can keep him active, which is cool. We don't know what's in the contracts and all that type of stuff. He must be happy for a reason. You lose your belt and you're still happy. You know, you must have got paid very well. But we need to see the action, because at the end of the day, you're not going to get respect from the fans by dropping your belt and by fighting opponents that are porqueria. You know what I'm saying? You got to fight. Is that his ceiling in Zuffa? A guy like Julian Rodriguez? Julian Rodriguez is a real tough guy. He's strong. He can fight his ass off, everything. And he's got a lot of heart, too. You know what I'm saying? But is that his ceiling for Africa? No, Africa, he deserves to fight bigger guys than that to prove himself, even at 147. Get his one-round fight at 147 and then fight even better guys. You understand? Is he going to fight Conor Benn? I highly doubt. Conor Benn's at 147 now. Zuffa, right? They extended him. Will they try to match up him versus Richardson Hitchins? I highly doubt that. You know, there's a lot of possibilities. We just don't know behind the scenes. The thing is, I try to not judge fighters by their decisions, because behind the scenes, you just don't know when it comes to money and stuff like that. They have to be taking care of themselves. But I do judge fighters on who are you fighting next and how are you talking in the camera afterwards. What do you want? What do you want the people to see that you want? And are you making it your best effort to make that shit happen?
Yeah, and I think listen, I think he is getting paid, man. I saw Keith Conley and he was wearing a very expensive suit, so I would imagine that he's paid. No, I'm kidding.
Are you saying he billed it to Hitchins? Are you saying he billed that really nice new suit to Hitchins?
Yo, Keith
Look
Conley,
out, Hitchins.
you know Keith Conley.
Look out.
Danny Jacob. He's had.
I know. I'm messing, man. But Woods, like Hitchins, I mean, yeah, the Conor Benn fight is there. There is a fight with Hammer Hands. But then you start looking down that list and it's pretty thin. Zuffa doesn't really have a big inventory at 147 that has name recognition. So what happens now? Like, does
he fights Brandon Lee? There it goes.
I guess he fights Brandon Lee. I mean, but Brandon Lee's got to get a fight first.
With that, and this tells us about a question you could be asking next to this was, so how's this Zuffa boxing going? It's a work in progress, and it's being stitched together now with people who are available. Sometimes there are better or worse reasons for people being available. Julian Rodriguez, aka Hammerhands, has been available. As a matter of fact, just about every single person signed to Zuffa has 1 or 2 or 3 losses. Is not, they've tasted some L's in their life, so they don't have as much leverage as other people. Ooh, that's very important. That circles back to what we were talking about, that hearing today, and Nick Khan was there, and all the people there were talking about the Ali Act and Nico.
We're going to get into that.
We're going to get into that. So, regarding that, let me skirt it right back to Hitchins and be like, bro, sir, I'm not going to call you Africa because that's Zungri's thing with you and you're in that shit together. This is just me, the guy who had you on the podcast in 2018 or 19, who saw outside looking in and who has seen it outside looking in again and time and again and again and again. You're reading to me, sir, like you're not doing this as any kind of labor of love, and boxing, your boxing to you seems to be right now just for remuneration purposes.
Remuneration is a word. Wow.
When your remuneration, the
What a
thing is, it's
word.
fucking great. It's majestic. It's beautiful. But once again, I'm coming back to this is old man warning time, I guess, is the theme for this show for me. You ain't gonna be 27, 28, 29 forever. And doing this dance with managers and dropping fucking things, and it's all too clever. Do you want to fucking fight or not? Are you a fighter? And how you have been acting, sir, in the past couple years has been like a person who likes the boxing business because, I'm getting some checks here and I'm getting some checks that my nose don't have to cash. Okay? And Zach, any of us we don't have to be a boxer to know that the less toll that something takes on you, the better that is for you. So, not shitting on you, guy, but I'm fucking telling you, behind the scenes and how people are talking about you. And there's that little Keith Conley. It's a double edge. Oh, I would like to be managed by Keith Conley. Well, actually, yeah, it's good, but it's mixed. Shit is mixed, is what I'm fucking trying to say here. And Hitchins needs some help. Real quick now, Brooklyn Styles, sum it up. Like Zach said, he needs a really good fight at 147. It might have even been better. Hell, if 140 is so tough for you and you've been making it since you were 17, well, fuck that, then go 154. But regardless, stop letting your manager, and this goes for not just him, stop letting all your managers be more active than you. You be more active than the fucking managers. Act like you want to fucking fight.
You got a big point there. Mike, you got a really big point. But just to sum it up, what I feel there's Zuffa and there's those guys that it's like life or death. This is it, last shot type of thing. Let's get to work. Let's grind, or let's make our own big thing here. And then there's the not, let's say not real or legit, let's say the classic way that everybody, the fighters, the Shakurs, the Teofimos, everything, that's where Richardson Hitchens belongs. With the classic type of real fights and boxing and promoters and all that shit. He deserves that because he's that good. You understand? He's that good. He might be the only undefeated fighter besides what's his name? Somebody, I don't know.
Ennis.
Opataya.
No, Opataya. That fought with Zuffa. Other than that,
he
didn't need to put himself in the dead or alive. I'm gonna call it the dead or alive section, or go all out section, the new stuff. No, he could be in another place trying to get Teofimo Lopez fights, trying to fight Shakur, trying to fight Keyshawn Davidson. All those fights with Zuffa, you're not getting any of those fights. You're gonna get paid because I'm sure Keith Conley's making sure he's getting paid. But with those fights, you become a mega star. I'm talking about a star. Not saying you can't become a star with Zuffa. You probably can, maybe. But when you become a classic,
you can make money with them right now. As far as the stardom goes,
when you become a classic star,
work in progress, yeah.
Who was the best in Royce Gracie in UFC? It was Royce Gracie, right? But nobody really knew who he was. But then it took them like 20 years until the Chuck Liddells became famous on the UFC and all that stuff. So it's going to take a very long time for Zuffa to explode the way they want to. But what I feel is Richardson Hitchens deserves to be where the classic boxing is at. Simple.
And let me hit this. That's something that never sat right with me. Says Dose Boxing. He claimed that Duarte money wasn't right. Keith's one of the best managers in the game. There's no way that the money suddenly wasn't right on fight day. And then he added, I think the numbers with a loss to Duarte on the Zuffa deal was not something that they were willing to.
I think Joseph Boxing is one of the smartest people that you have regularly watching this fucking show. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. I be seeing him at the fights here.
if you think business moves don't happen months prior to when they happen,
Months, if not years. Sometimes
years,
it's years. You're
yep.
right.
But something like this, it was definitely months, and it was planned.
Yep.
But we got to wait and see what happens with this.
Yeah, and shout out to KO Artists on the Instagram. I see you, man. Lindelfo Delgado, right? He is uh he's next in line for the title that Hitchins dropped. Now they're saying, and I had sent an email to IBF some weeks ago, and I was like, hey, Keyshawn is busy, Duarte is busy. What about Teofimo Lopez? Is that going to be the fight that's ordered? No response. But guess what? They posted the other day that that's the next fight they're going to order, which is Delgado versus Teofimo. Now, whether Teofimo can still fight at 140 is a different question, right? But if he can make 140 and if he chooses to still fight at 140, is this a good move for Teofimo, or should he just avoid it and not chance it again at 140 and just move up to 147? Zach, what you got?
My goodness, damn. Well, I think of Teofimo like Roberto Duran in the sense where he might not be that big to be fighting at those weight classes, but he will give great fights and good competition. Despite his last fight, I mean, who's going to do great against Shakur Stevenson popping a lightning jab like that? You understand? He's a phenom himself. But Teofimo can give great fights. It's just, is he big enough to handle 147 pounders? I'm not sure about that. Teofimo Lopez, to me, is in the same boat as Richardson Hitchins, as in they both don't walk around fat. You've never seen them walking around overweight. I watch these guys. I watch everything. These guys don't walk around super heavy. Maybe Africa's starting to walk around a little heavy on purpose to fit the 147 stuff. But you know what you got to do? You got to eat. You got to overeat to get there. You understand? To be heavy at that weight class. Because once you go with the 147 pounders, skills pays the bills. But once those guys touch your arm or something in the ring with 8-ounce gloves, remember it's still 8-ounce gloves. It's a totally different story. You understand? But that's why this is the reason why Floyd Mayweather is one of the best ever, is because he never blew up crazy, but his skills were always on point, and you wasn't bullying Floyd in that ring. His strength conditioning was on point. He was a very strong fighter. And I see Teofimo Lopez, he's the same way. He's very super strong physically. Africa, I don't see him super strong physically, but that's something that they can work on to be real good at 147. Don't sleep on him and his team. But I don't know. They're both in the same boat. But as far as Teofimo fighting, this kid, I think if you want to become a world champion again, yeah. But if you want to not milk, but stretch out how much you can get paid and more big fights, I really don't think you need to fight this guy. But if you're willing for legacy purposes, let's talk about legacy, because nobody talks about that. He fights this guy, say he beats him, forget about it. He's back. He's back. He can talk his shit. He can do whatever he wants. You understand? It's that simple. But the biggest fight that I would love to see, that would make sense, is like, Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez versus Ryan Garcia. These are fights that these round robins need to happen. That it's just, they need to happen.
Yeah, and you made a point about the bigger guys. And listen, there's a reason why Conor Ben fought Regis Prograis at 149. Because guess what? Once you pass 147, what happens with the glove size?
10-ounce gloves. 10-ounce gloves. And shout out to Conor Ben. He's doing his thing and everything, but I really don't see him staying at 147 that long. 154 might be a better weight class for him. He can't be calling out just these little guys just to get names and publicity out there. To be honest, he just became a big star, and that was because of the Eubank fight. But can he draw himself? We just don't know yet in America.
Yeah, and Woods, Teofimo Lopez. Listen, he's a guy that you interviewed on Everlast when he was like 5-0 or 6-0, and you gave him that platform, and you've followed him, in his career with different platforms and stuff. So what do you see him doing? You see him, doing this. And oh, by the way, it's an IBF strap, so that means second day weigh-in and all that. And I don't know if that's gonna play
No,
too
man,
well for him.
right there, you tipped it in the direction that I was heading in, which is this: Teofimo can do whatever the fuck he wants. He signaled his willingness to fight all comers. He don't need no extra pressure. He don't need no extra mandatory fucking 10 to 11 day, any of that bullshit. No, he's pretty much a star as far as his willingness and his attitude. So whatever makes most business and sense for him, not only just business, but from a perspective of, I think he still likes to actually fight. I think he still likes to actually box. And I don't know, Zach, do you ever, I've never asked you this, maybe obviously, but do you ever think of fighting in terms of you being an artist and you painting a picture sometimes?
It is. It's basically you take somebody that is literally replenished, fully fresh, perfect, healthy human being, and you get to hurt them, and you get to make it look different afterwards, and you get to punish them and make their will against you quit. You know what it is to feel.
Hold on. That was too good. Hold on to that promo, because we're coming back to that, because I swear to God, I'm talking to you after this, man. That was too good of a fucking promo. I don't care. Moving on from him, moving on from Teofimo, let's talk about you, son. Let's talk about you.
This guy.
Hey, listen.
And
okay.
Do you have a co-manager slot available? Abe, would you consider me if it's you? Come on now. Let's do this, boy. Bring it on, Zuffa.
Hey, listen, the last thing we're gonna get into is this testimony or hearing in Congress.
Oh, let's go.
Listen, I heard hearing it all, sometimes that, like, some parts I just kind of like rolled my eyes up and I'm just like, oh boy. And if you really like listen to some of the things that they were saying, a lot of it wasn't factual. People on X were like, oh, semantics, blah blah blah. But if you're gonna say something and say it in a manner that it's supposed to be factual, then it needs to be, right?
Who
and
are
so
you talking? Hold on now. I'm gonna count. Who are we talking now?
There was some shit that there was some shit that I heard that was not true.
Now I was gonna say, let's start off with Nick Khan, right?
Okay.
He mentioned that, and I'm paraphrasing here, that ESPN is no longer in boxing. But wait a minute, they just signed with Jake Paul's MVP to do a deal. Oh, by the way, they've been showing fights on ESPN Knockouts for the last 6 or 7 months that Top Rank wasn't with them. So that is not a true statement, period. There was let me see, he said something else, and I don't know, like there was just a lot of things. One of the facts that he tried to throw out about the Olympics, he was like corrected by the lady that was talking there.
That was crazy.
She knew about it more than anything else.
How do you say a fact like that and not know that there's a fighter, one of the best fighters, that literally just won a gold medal in 2004 or 5 or something like that?
And so you had that. Now, Oscar, I get some of the points that he made, but he also, kind of said some stuff that was not accurate either. Like he was talking about.
What was his worst one?
I think the transparency one, because he was sued by Canelo for the transparency thing, right? And so, like, I think that all parties involved, and then Nico Ali Walsh got on and he did his thing, but then he said, he was like, well, as long as if it does get passed, it doesn't have my grandfather's name on it.
I like that. I don't like the if. When these guys say if, stop saying if. Fight for your rights. Fight for what you want fully. Don't say if it gets passed, but no. Fight for that shit full throttle.
But this is the thing. I think if you're Zuffa, you're like, whatever, man. We'll change. We'll call it whatever. You know what I mean? Like, as long as what's in it is what we want, right? And I think that the name doesn't really is irrelevant,
It's
to
not
be
about the
honest with
name
you.
anymore. They don't care
Yeah.
about the name. It's about what it
Um,
does.
but in a nutshell, I just feel like they all had their positive and negative moments today. But for me, I'm just like, this is all nice, but the thing is gonna pass. It's gonna pass. Like there is, I do not see a scenario where this doesn't pass. And if anybody had a question about that, the one senator basically kind of proved my point when he said, "Oh well, I'm just wondering, Nick Khan, on a separate note, if you guys going to bring WrestleMania to Cleveland, Ohio." And it was like, what?
I
So
like
you're
that.
so you're
That guy was
pitching,
very obvious.
so
He was
you're
pretty slick,
pitching,
man. I
you're
like
pitching
him.
a WrestleMania to go to the city where you govern, or wherever that
Right.
you're. Oh man, I was like, this is exactly why people don't have faith in some of these things, because you get that publicly, like no shame, like, oh well, when are you gonna have a WrestleMania? Like seriously, like where was that
That has nothing.
necessary in
Yeah,
that conversation?
that had nothing to do with anything. And while Nick Khan had these guys by the Bulls and Gucci, was you got talking to all these older guys, right? He starts bringing up boxing in the 60s, boxing in the 70s, and the 80s. And he totally shits on the 90s and early 2000s and all that stuff. Talks about, oh, we have rematches. They did their thing back and forth. This was a different time. You understand? Those guys weren't getting paid what they should have been getting paid, though. They made good money, but the guys was they was going, they was getting smoked their checks. But it's the nostalgia thing. He was bringing the nostalgia stuff, and what that does, it just sugarcoats everything. Put the butter on the bread, sugarcoat it for these guys to cut it, and for the guy to say WrestleMania, that means he's actually saying, "I'm gonna write this for you, good, and just bring my give me my tickets sometimes and things like that." The only thing that was cool that you could say Nick Khan was saying, but we don't know if it's true about their insurance with health, this and that, these people. That's cool. But the thing is this: can I still get my own sponsors? Can I use my own sponsors? Can I have my own managers? Can we figure things out by itself? Why you can't let me have all that stuff?
Yeah,
and also
no.
give me insurance and also give me health insurance too.
Now this is the thing. Like he kind of hit the wave tops on that and said, "Oh yeah, but we're gonna, no one else offers trading cards and this and this and that," which is true, right?
I understand, man.
But how much of a royalty check is that really?
It's
That
not.
is the
Ask
part
the
that's
UFC fighters and how much trickle down they got from the from the attire.
I've done
and that
trading
and that,
cards.
and that's the
I've done
part
trading cards.
that's the part that's left out. Now listen, I do agree with Nick Khan when he was shitting on the sanctioning bodies, because they deserve all that,
True.
right?
This is true.
They deserve all that, and he wasn't lying about the hotel suites and all that. All those things happen, right? And I agree with that. Like he was on point with that. Definitely, the sanctioning body shenanigans have been going on for way too long. I just didn't like that he glossed over like some of those things, like the sponsorships and stuff like that, because um, even within the WWE, like they don't see like these big checks off of merch and everything else,
No, they
unless
don't.
unless you're one of the bigger names and you negotiate that part where you say, "Hey, listen, I want 70% or whatever if I'm going to sign." Like
Like a
AJ Styles,
McGregor and all those guys, right? Yep, yep.
like AJ Styles, he when he signed with WWE, he was able to keep his name, and he got, I think, like 60 or 70% of his merch, period,
Wow, that's
during that,
big.
which is big time. Not everybody gets that deal. And so, glossing over that and saying that those things, yes, it's true, those things will be available to them. But how much of that are they really getting? Is it worth it if I'm only getting 50 cents on every $10 that come in?
It's
But
not.
he can say, but you're getting something, right? You're
Yeah,
getting you. So
but that's the
that's what I'm
point you're
saying.
saying. At least you're getting something. That's oh my God. What you just said was gold. At least you're getting something. No, it's not true, bro. I've made more money on my fight shorts than I've made in some of my fights because of the sponsors. Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. And then to get to one point he was focused and talking about, he was talking in the more of the sense of America. Boxing is not an American sport. It is a world sport. We're going to lose. We're not going to win every Olympics because other fighters in all over the world are becoming very good as well. So there has to be a correction there as well. We can't just say American is the boxing is the American sport. We understand that, but it's a world sport as well. This shit ain't no fucking. You want it to be NBA? Okay, well, national, national football. This is not national. This is world. This is boxing. It's not something that can be regulated so easy. It's not. This is the. We're talking about countries and countries after countries. You think they're gonna bring Zuffa to Japan or something like that? Who knows? But they're focused more on America. But meanwhile, this is a world sport. I don't know how I see it from. They're saying we want promoters to work with amateurs, from the amateurs all the way to the pros and stuff like that. I don't know. These kids can get locked into something they didn't even really want or didn't know because their parents are excited about them even having somebody look at them from 16 years old all the way to they're 21, and they're locked in and they can't get another deal because it says after you win this fight, it extends this one. After you win this fight, it extends. Oh, my son, he just got a deal with this vacuum company. Nope. You can't put that on your shirts. You can't put. This is dangerous waters. If it's something that's going to happen, I don't know if it's true, whatever. But the people that are trying to fuck the fighters are assholes. And if they're not trying to fuck the fighters, it only gets you mad if you're trying to fuck the fighters if I say that. But if I say that and you don't get mad, it means you're not trying to fuck the fighters. So don't get fucking mad.
Woodsy, what was your assessment of today, and how they talked about the pipeline and the amateur system and pros not being involved anymore? Because let's face it, USA Boxing is ran by the same folks, and there's problems with that in itself. I mean, that system is broken too at the higher executive level over there. So what do you think of everything today, and is this all just a dog and pony show?
Damn, you came up with the dog and pony show right as I was trying to figure out a phrase suggestive of that. It's a little bit of a dog and pony show, but what struck me most as you guys were chopping it up there, thinking back to this hearing today and just the whole history, is how shitty are the athletes in MMA as far as their ability not to fight, but as far as their ability to siphon or enjoy X percentage of the revenue associated with their names. MMA fighters can fight in a cage, in an octagon or whatever, but they've proven subpar at fighting for their own selves. And so that struck me in that what boxers have been represented through this whole time. What young boxers have said, knock, knock, knock. I want a seat at this goddamn table here because I know I'm going to make X amount of money and I want to stand up for labor's rights, for workers' rights. Where are those people? They've been almost absent in MMA. And have you seen them? You saw Nico Ali Walsh, you saw Oscar De La Hoya standing up for fighters, but he's also a promoter, so it's hard. So, or is everyone just going along with it, bro? Are we all just going riding on the waves? And hey, Keith Conley, can you pick me up on your boat for a little bit? Is it like that? Is it just going through the motions and everyone knows that it's going to be a good deal for the bosses? I didn't see anyone really fighting for, pardon me, just the fighters themselves as much as I would have liked.
Yeah,
Yo, Mike, sorry to interrupt you, Abe, but you said some shit, Mike, where you said it's like these guys, they're fighting but in the ring, but they're not fighting for themselves. Or the octagon, whatever you said. That's one of the most deepest things ever. It's the truth.
Yeah, and listen, there's a reason why there's no union in the WWE.
Bing, 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 bing.
There's a reason why.
Why'd you just mention that U word, bro? It
Yeah.
just said, you didn't see it. It sizzled. Fights ATW, the sign sizzled when you mentioned the U word. Whoa.
Yo, Teamsters.
Well, you know what happened to the last person that mentioned about creating a union in wrestling? He got fired.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, what
Yeah.
was his name?
I forgot who it was. But
Yeah, we
yeah,
forget. Oh, no, that's
yeah,
bad.
because they
Oh.
wanted to start a union and no. And then there's been union talk as of late because some of these younger folks are coming up and they're seeing that they may be not making as much money as what they should be. But they're slick. They're considered
If
independent
I were to
contract.
do it, things need to be done a different way. The old, let's start a union and whatever, that front door is not going to work necessarily. What might work, however, is there a way that we can find that we can all work together to get everyone health insurance
Yeah.
and collectively bargain like that? No, we're not a union. We're a health organization, something like that. You get what I'm talking about. Something like that might be able to work a little bit better than, because when you mentioned that U word, I think Dana White's telehotline wrote, well, I think that's what it was. They mentioned the U word. Where? Who said it? Who's the U? Right? They don't like that shit. It's not me. I'm not the labor leader. It's that.
Yo, we own The Rock, but we don't own Dwayne Johnson. I can't say I'm The Rock. I have to use Dwayne Johnson because they own that name. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's funny. But you know what? Dose is not lying.
Let's chill a little bit. I mean, I have never been to a WrestleMania. Abe, he goes all the time to all these places.
Listen, man.
If Oscar was with Zuffa, the Golden Boy, he probably wouldn't even own his name, the Golden Boy. They probably would own his name, and he would just have to call it Oscar De La Hoya Promotions.
Well, listen, that's what happens, right? So the WWE files trademarks for some of these names. It's not the individual person; it's WWE filing a trademark. But they're getting. But anyway, that's Dose is not. He's Abe. Tomorrow, dear Abe, sorry to inform you, your WWE media portal has been deactivated effective immediately. That's fucked up. But you know what? If that were to happen because I mentioned some things that are more truth than cap, then guess what? It is what it is.
You put a wig on. You call yourself Harold. Who knows, bro?
Call myself Shirley, baby.
Yeah, because I know there's some folks that work there that are probably watching right now. Hi.
Yep.
But look, it is what it is, man. I'll still report the recaps and all that. I don't take shit personal. Lastly, we had another PED pop. Lawrence Okoli popped. He's not fighting on Saturday. Listen, I think we start getting these like towards the beginning of the year, and then we'll get maybe one in the summer, and then we'll get one like at the end of the year. But Lawrence Okoli, he probably needed this fight on Saturday to get himself into the conversation of getting one of these bigger names, right? This doesn't do him no favors. Him popping probably won't be fighting for like another year or so. Then he's starting all over again. What do you think of this latest pop there, Woodsy? And I know you mentioned something about
my man Lawrence Okoli is about 36 years old, and if you had told me of all the people that are using performance enhancers, here's one of them, I would have said, yeah.
Yeah.
Who was he fighting?
He was fighting Tony Yoka.
And they canceled the whole show is the shitty thing. Do you know how shitty it must be? They were all hoping for that trip to France.
Dang, that's crazy. The whole show.
Yo, whole show canceled, shut down. So
yeah.
Well, listen, man. This was a great time. We got a super big show next week. We got Junto Nakatani versus Naoya Inoue, the real deal super fight,
baby. That's yours. The big one for you, baby.
Yes, and
big
then you got Benavidez versus Zerto. And then like the month of May is just hard hitting. So
Yeah.
we're definitely gonna have a super show next week. And hopefully Woodsy comes back for that.
Hopefully, yeah.
And we can discuss that, and maybe maybe we'll announce Zach signing to bare knuckle or something like that.
Strangest fucking things have happened.
Oh my
They
God.
already have. Stranger things have already happened.
Yeah,
I cannot divulge, but I can say that much.
yeah. Shout out to those folks. BKB Don Povia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you on blast because I sent you a Facebook message the last time we were live and you didn't even respond. So
Don P,
I'm
Don P, ding, 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 ding,
Don
ding.
P.
It's
I'm
not the
putting you
union.
on.
Don't worry, it's not the union alert. It's a good one.
Yo, David Benavidez, Zerto, they better be selling good tickets.
Yeah,
They gotta
They-
push. They gotta push.
I think
they gotta
so.
push. They gotta push.
yeah. They've been slashing prices. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, you can get some good.
Oh.
You can get some good tickets. You
Oh.
get some good tickets. Look out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How many you gonna buy?
Hey, and if you need tickets, hit up Jim Boone on X. He got the tickets there.
He's an old pro, and that's
he's
a
an old
real
pro.
compliment coming from an older pro.
Yeah. Hit him up for tickets if you need some for Benavidez Zerto, and I'm sure that he'll be out there for that. So, well, listen, I think we're gonna end it here. I'm gonna go get the kids from school, and we'll I guess we'll circle back next week. Woodsy, I appreciate you coming on the show. Please tell everyone where they can find your material and where they could possibly find you in the future.
Yeah, at Mike Woods Boxing on the social media platform that so many people are thumping the tub thumping for today. Now I'm at Twitter at Woodsy1069. And I'm always around wherever your content is found. I will be found lurking around there.
Oh, thank you, Wes. Yo,
Yeah.
Zach, talk to the people. Where can they find you besides nowhere?
You can find me at fightsatw.com. You can find me on the Rush Hour show. It's the greatest
There you
show in
go.
boxing, the real show. And at Zachary Show on Twitter
Keeps it
or
tight.
X, whatever
Keeps
this
it tight
is.
and right,
you know.
baby. Tight and right.
Tight and right,
Yeah.
how we like it.
And listen, if there's anyone that wants to get involved with the show and sponsor an episode, feel free to contact us at contact at fightsatw.com. That's contact at fightsatw.com, which is not that easy. So
Yeah, because
the-
maybe there is a young up and comer of the month, and we need to be told who that is. And maybe the only way that we can do it is if person reaches out and say, "Hey, I got a guy for you. We're going to tell the world about him." Okay, we pay to play then, baby.
Yeah. So shout out to the 172 that are on live with us right
Okay.
now. We appreciate y'all on this Wednesday. Thank you and have a great weekend, and see you when I see you. Peace.